Hello racing fans and a warm welcome to Trackside, proudly brought to you by World Sports Betting. Bet with the best, bet with a WSB. Well, it's two race meetings this weekend. We race at Turffontein on Saturday and then we move to Scottsville on Sunday. I trust that you're well. You've had a fair week wherever you've been playing and looking forward to this weekend's racing. Well, this weekend I've picked out 3 horses at Turffontein, 2 horses at Scottsville, and 2 trebles will be up on the World Sports Betting menu. So away we go with the show and our 5 horses to follow this weekend. Well, our day will begin in race number 4 at Turffontein. And when I had a look at both cards, I personally think this will be the shortest price favorite on the weekend and a nice way to start off your all-to-come bets because she will be short. I think she'll be in the red, deep in the red. And number 4, Rarotonga Rose for Ladiki Hudalakos and Samanga Kumalo. But I think bookmakers and fixed odds betting operators, especially in a World Sports Betting, they're not going to have much chance to give you value about this horse because of the lack of opposition that she takes on. With all due respect to the entire field, it really looks like a weak maiden plate over 2,000 meters, and she looks primed to win here. You look at her profile, well, she looked to have needed experience when they tried her over shorter, 1,400 meters her first 2 runs, and then they put her over ground, 16 and 1,800 meters, and it's clear to see how she's improved and enjoyed the step up in distance. It's worth touching on her form lines as well. A penultimate start, Tulip Tree coming out to win. And of course last time out I think it was a Colourful Pass also coming out to win from that form line for Corey Lensley. So those are 2 winners from that form line of a penultimate start behind Light of Day. And then what happened last time out? Well, she was a 7-1 shot. She actually drifted out in the betting market from 4-1 to 7-1, and she ran a game race behind the horse I mentioned coming through from that penultimate start of hers from that form line called Tulip Tree, and she got pretty close to the winner, doing her best work at the finish. In fact, over that 1,800 meter trip, she was the fastest finisher. Now, assessing the opposition and what she takes on, I mentioned there's not much depth in the form, and there's pretty much little or no form to recommend. So this race is tailor-made for her. She'll be short, but I think she will get you off to a flying start in whatever bet you're planning to take with her later on the day, and of course doubles and trebles, and she'll be hoping that here on Trackside she can get us off to a flying start as well. I can confidently say that if you're playing the exotics as well, she is a banker. Race 4, number 4, Rarotonga Rose. And then the next horse that I picked out at Turffontein comes up in race number 5. Now he's done us a few favors. This horse calls Raise a Hallelujah for Candice Dawson, and he's in very good form, this individual. He's really hit a good form of late, having had 2 seconds and now back-to-back wins, and both those wins he's done it in fine style. Looking at his record, this 5-year-old is now a 5-time winner, and he's on a hat-trick. He's won those 2 races very well over 2,000 and 2,400 meters. The stable's also in a very good form. The stable of Candice Dawson. So is the jockey Keen de Mello, who knows this horse well, having had 3 rides on him and having won at his penultimate start. So that is a plus as well. And the one thing I see is that his rating, he hasn't been pushed up heavily for both those wins. He was an 86 when he won at his penultimate starts, and having had those 2 wins, he's only gone off 5 pounds or 2.5 kgs in the rating. So when you look at a horse like Jamala, number 4, who he beat on the 16th of June, he's actually better off at the weights, 0.5 kg, for beating number 4 Jamala, who has since come out to win from that form line. So the form lines are good. Raise Hallelujah is in a good space, hasn't been penalized much for both those wins, and I think the hat-trick is on the card here. Race number 5, horse number 5, Raise Hallelujah. And then third of our 3 horses at Turffontein comes up in race number 8. Now, there are certain horses that will grab your attention, capture your imagination quite early in their careers. And it's not an easy task to win on debut, and it's even a tougher ask to follow up on your debut win. Well, this horse has got the first of that right, having won on debut. I Am Giant, trained by Brett Crawford, and quite friendly in the betting market, I must add, at around 4-1. He was still a bit green in the running. I remember that race clearly at the Val, but one has to say the way he got the job done, with that natural pace and speed, still being green in the running, I think there's plenty of scope for just natural improvement to come. He won on pure ability first time out, the son of Karari, and he's a full brother to a 5-time winning sprinter in Odin, so he's nicely related as well. I know that Tartarius, for trainer Paul Matchett, from that form line, who he beat last time out, came out to run second in a global team horse racing race by the ever consistent Indaka that was rewarded for Yogas Govender. And those horses to come out to win from that form line and just enhance that form line is Ashley Fortune's runner called Texas Red and Fabian Habib's runner called Lutuli. So the form line has held up really well, and he takes on some tried and tested horses, some horses that bring some decent form into the race, but I'm just hoping that he's as good as I think he is, because it's never easy tipping horses that have shed their maiden, but this horse won on debut, and I just feel there's plenty of more to come from him. He's a young horse, he's a maturing horse, he's a horse that's got his entire career ahead of him. This will no doubt be his acid test, the first obstacle to get by, and if he makes it back-to-back wins, then I think the Crawford stable and the Werners will have a very nice horse on their hands for the season. So race number 8, horse number 2, I Am Giant. So those are the 3 horses from Turffontein. And then we move along to Scottsville on Sunday. And I mentioned I picked out 2 horses on this race card. The first of the 2 horses comes up in race number 5. Now it looks like a highly competitive race, this over 1400 meters. There's some quality to speak about here, and one of the horses that's loaded with quality is this 5-year-old called After the Rain, and he's a striking grey. You can actually call him a white horse when you have a look at him in the parade ring, and his record says it all. Faultless, 11 runs, 4 wins, 6 places, anything from 1000 meters to 1600 meters suits him just fine. In fact, if you have a look at his wins, he's won 3 times over 1200, he's won over 1600, and he's run second over 1400 meters. I have no problem with the 1400 meter trip. Last time out, when you look at that race, don't read too much into it. It was over 1000 meters. He's quick, but he's not a 5 furlong specialist. So I would think against the tried and tested sprinters, those that perform well over 1000 meters, he was just caught flat-footed over the final 150 meters or so. Nevertheless, he wasn't disgraced in that field of 12 behind Isi Vungu Vungu. Now, when I analyze this race, the one thing that stands out for me is how quick they're going to go and what pace they're going to go, because I picked out 2 runners, Party Time and Run As One, who's got a low weight, 51.5 on his back. Those are the 2 runners that, along with After the Rain, that enjoy racing up handy. They run their best races from the front, and I'm just hoping that it doesn't turn out to be a race where After the Rain has to fight for that position that he enjoys most, which is up front against horses like Party Time and Run As One. If things go according to plan and things go his way, the way he races with Keegan DeMello up, I think he's a massive runner here, number 7, After the Rain. And from his form line last time out behind Isi Vungu Vungu, I will tell you that in that Umgeni handicap, Danilovic has come through to win for Paul Matchett. So that's looking good as well. It's competitive, but I think he'll be a decent price here. Race number 5, horse number 7, After the Rain. And then our last of our 5 runners to follow on Trackside will come up in race number 6, and this horse I really like. Number 2, Emerald Princess, the daughter of Gimme the Green Light, trained by Paul Peter, will be partnered by Muzi Yeni. She's been at the last 3 starts. She's had 4, let me count them, 1, 2, 3, and 4 runs for the stable. And They took a bit of time with her. I say a bit of time, maybe 2 runs to get to the bottom of her, which they have. And her last 2 wins have been superb. She has been pushed up in the ratings, not too much, from a 76 to an 82 for both those wins, and she's now on a hat-trick. I've watched her win at the Vaal, and I've watched her win at Turffontein. And I have no doubt that Scottsville racetrack is going to suit her perfectly. She's got the draw, she enjoys racing up handy, and when asked for an effort to run, it's been there in a big way at her last 2 starts. She's got a jockey that knows her well. There's lots of positives, and if you want to add to that, well, let's add the form line and the strength of the form line of her last start. Red Carpet Girl winning, Princess Philippa winning, Golden Aspen winning. It's looking good, it's looking bright. A penultimate start, they've been winners as well. So I think everything does point to number 2, Emerald Princess, and I think Paul Peter has found the right race. It's a merit-rated 83 handicap. It is a C division class, and I think over this 1400 meter trip at Scottsville, things are going to work out perfectly for her. So you got your 5 horses to follow and trackside for this weekend. Those 5 runners will be up as 2 triples on the World Sports Betting menu. And all that's left for me to say is that you have a wonderful week end wherever you're punting. Of course, the 2 local race meetings, Scottsville and Turffontein, Scottsville being Sunday and Turffontein being Saturday. Have a wonderful weekend, find all the winners, and as always, on behalf of World Sports Betting, thanks to all the punters, but more importantly and more especially, thanks to you, the valued customer. Until next weekend, you take care. Salani Gashe.